You got the bomb on me. You were my pills, you were my pills. You dropped the bomb on me. You turned me out, you turned me on. You turned me loose and you turned me wrong. Oh, you dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me. But you turned me out. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me. Just like Adam and Eve set yourself free. You took me to the sky. I've never been so high. You were my pills. You were my thrills. You were my hope. Baby, you were my smoke. You dropped the bomb, baby. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me. But you turned me out. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me. But you turned me on. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me. We're in motion, felt like ocean. You were the girl for me. You were my first explosion, turned out big illusion. You were the first for me, but you turned me out. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me.
ThousandTroops now has a Discord. The link's in the description, but it's extra easy. It's just discord.gg/ThousandTroops. I'm going to be organizing giveaways frequently for subscribers. The first giveaway is up for vote in the channel right now, but it's between 3 single winner giveaways of a PS5, an Xbox Series X, or a $500 Amazon gift card, or a multi-winner giveaway of a $250 Amazon card plus 5 mini $50 Amazon cards. The entry details are super easy. Just open a ticket in the Discord, send me a screenshot of your subscription status on YouTube, and boom, you're entered. So hope to see you guys around, but with that, let's get into the build particulars, starting with attributes. For this build, I'm running kind of a mix of attributes. I run a very similar spec for my IGBB builds. I'm going 100 strength, 250, 260-ish int, 150 con with something like carrot cake as your attribute food. This gives my blunderbuss excellent damage while also not handicapping my fire staff too hard. The damage feels good, so let's talk about the con. 150 is going to keep you alive most of the time unless you're just completely out of line, in which case you die anyway. If you are at that medium-ish range, most of the time you're going to be staying alive pretty easy. This build's actually pretty mobile. Medium dodges aren't terrible, and we'll cover the abilities later, but I'm running Burnout and Net Shot for mobility. If you feel like you're getting killed too much, I am hesitant to say take some ability points from int to give to con because it will just nuke your damage too hard. So maybe just practice playing safe, staying out of range until you get the hang of your mobility skills and your cooldowns. There's a couple blunderbuss options that I've been having fun with, so let's start with the fire staff, because so far personally I only really like one of the trees. The fire staff tree will have Fireball, Pillar of Fire, and Burnout, going all the way down the Fire Mage tree to Rune of Helios. In a medium loadout, it's really easy to stay inside that 4-meter radius and keep this damage buff active. Ignore Pillar's Arson advantage and Fireball's catch. You don't need those since you're running a blunderbuss instead of another weapon that is cannibalizing your mana, like an Ice Gauntlet for example. Stick to the bomb roleplay and take Heated Up, which makes you explode at the end of Burnout. This makes for a hilarious nuclear combo with Detonate, by the way. The Fire Staff has Burn and Smolder basically applied on everything, so Pyromania is an essential pickup. Quick note, Blunderbuss's Incendiary Bursts apply burn, but in dueling and dummies testing, I did not observe Pyromania's bonus 10% was applying to enemies singularly with the Blunderbuss burn. That may or may not be by design, but it is noteworthy. I take Fiery Restoration as well. The Fire Staff has one of the best autos of any weapon in the game in my opinion. It just feels very natural. This makes this an easy pickup for some cooldown reduction options. Last, I take Combat Speed. It's going to give you some slippery haste to navigate OPR points and skirmish fights. Moving on to the blunderbuss, let's start with my recommended setup. I'm taking net shot, shrapnel blast, and splitting grenade. The blunderbuss essentials, which will appear on both of my trees, are double down for those enormous ability cooldowns, especially on your splitting grenades. Of course, we're taking all the grenade add-ons, including incendiary bursts, which will really amp up your AoE DPS with that burn applicator. Also, I take future planning on both trees as it provides even more cooldown reduction. You guys already know my stance on Last Chance and how I think it's just so overpowered. It's possibly the strongest blunderbuss tree selection, definitely a must-have. The second tree is a little more for fun, but it's extremely viable if you actually run it in light armor. I don't think it's as practical for medium, but nonetheless, it's hilarious and it's super fun to run mortar. If you choose the mortar tree, be sure you grab streak. Combined with double down, you can have virtually constant uptime with the mortar and it will just blow out the ears of all of your enemies. Well, as I've said, I'm going medium loadout. I feel plenty sturdy while remaining mobile. I did actually try this build in heavy at first, but was really underwhelmed with the damage. I just felt like I was meaningless during fights. If you have a light loadout, that should work fine, but be careful because as you know, the light loadout changes make you very squishy. Running the mortar with light equipment though is certainly viable and can really help you shell out that damage. This patch didn't change anything about the need for resilient. You definitely need that on every piece still. I like stacking refreshing on builds like this where I'm just trying to pour out as much damage as I can. In this video, I'm actually still running about 2 to 4 pieces of shirking fortification, but I do think I'm gonna eventually try to replace that with elemental aversion, especially since OPRs right now are basically 20 to 25 fire staffs. I was still surprised with how durable I was with the shirking fortification, so don't abandon that if you spent good money on it before the patch. For weapon perks, really only need plague splitting grenade for the blunderbuss, and I recommend just going ahead and getting that straight onto your weapon for the extra debuffs. Other good things to go with that are flame attunement and enchanted or keenly empowered. Honestly, all 3 weapon perks for the fire staff are decent. You could probably forgo the fortifying burnout. I will admit, in medium, if you fly through a big group of people in OPR in the fort fight, you'll get a very nice survivability boost, but it's probably better to just try to grab another piece with refreshing on it. The other 2, I definitely recommend you find slots for, and either can be on your weapon. I'm currently running the Wildfire Torch, which is an OPR crate drop. It has empowering fireball, enchanted, and keenly empowered. As far as named fire staffs go, this is probably one of the best, if not the best. While I don't have it, the Awoken Ash Staff is an amazing named staff with refreshing Pillar of Fire instead of Fireball. Landing this on 2+ enemies will get you over 50% cooldown reduction on Pillar, and that's going to be a majority of your target damage nowadays. If I'm being honest, I probably would run Awoken Ash Staff if I had it, but I don't. If you're trying to craft an ultimate Biz Fire Staff, you probably want something like Refreshing Pillar of Fire, Flame Attunement, and then Keenly Empowered, Keenly Jagged, or Vicious. I'm running all Ignited Rune Glass with server-specific armor gems. Basically mix up Onyx, Opals, Emeralds, and maybe even Rubies as necessary. On the weapons, I'm actually running both the Blunderbuss and the Fire Staff with Opals right now. Gambit works perfectly with this playstyle, as I do feel like I'm dodging more than I do with even similar builds like the IGBB. I can't really say anything about Heart Runes except Brutal Detonate is the most fun. Becoming an embodiment of the blue shell from Mario Kart and nuking people is about the most fun you can have in PvP on this game. I do digress though, that Stone Form and the new Firestorm probably could work. Jewelry is not too special, Champion's Amulet if you have it, or something similar. The ideal ring, unfortunately, will probably be very expensive in the midst of this Fire Staff craze, but you are looking for fire damage, invigorated punishment, and then either refreshing or hardy. I actually prefer refreshing, but hardy's very good. Embers of Change is a good ring that drops in the new dungeon. It doesn't have invigorated punishment, but burning's not completely useless as both the blunderbuss and the fire staff apply burns. Since you're running the blunderbuss, you can afford a little strength, so I recommend maybe throwing on Doom's Chance to round out this build, as it's still really solid. However, you could just use Champion's Earring as it provides the same perks but just straight constitution, so mix it up as needed to meet those attribute assignments. That's it for this build video. Glad you all could tag along, and I really hope to see you in the ThousandTroops Discord soon. The new patch has a lot to offer, and I know I'm not the fastest creator on the planet, so I do appreciate you watching the video today. If you like more New World, check out this video I did of the very best shot calling with all your favorite AI voice personalities. As always, you all are the very best, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Peace.